Progress.
Okay, good morning, friends. We're continuing in Mishna Berura daf Hashavua. We're in Siman Ayin Gimel, and we're talking about the halachos and the parameters of someone who is sleeping with someone else, b'mita achas, regarding Krias Shema. Sif Aleph talked about stam, two people who are sleeping together, even of the same gender. Then the rule is like this: that if they're facing each other, then you need to have hafsakas talis, even if they're not touching. If they're back to back, then if they're not touching, it's okay. If they're touching, you need to have hafsakas talis. Sif Beis was talking about if somebody's sleeping with their wife. Sleeping with their wife is more lenient. There's an opinion because of ishtay kagufay, it may not lead to hirur. So therefore, you could face away. You could face away from each other, even if you're touching each other. Some say you need hafsakas talas, and that we don't apply the rule of ishtay kagufay legabe hirur. Sif Gimel was talking about if you're sleeping with your children when they're katanim, then according to everyone, you don't need hafsakas talis, even if you're touching, if you're back to back. Okay, because by a child, we definitely say regarding this inyan that they're like kagufam, and it won't come to hirur. As long as you're not touching their erva. Now, Sif Katan, we're up to Sif Katan Ches. B'chazaras panim, to turn away. Hainu she'achareim zelazeh, they're back to back. However, v'impnei banav neged acharav, if the erva of the male child is opposite one's backside, tzarach al kapanim lizor shleiyeh b'sari nogeh b'ervasan. Okay, nearly you should be careful that your flesh is not touching their erva. Uraya milkaman simnayin dalad sifhei demuchach dem b'sari nogeh b'ervas chaver gam ken asar. The proof would be from Siman Ayin Daled Sifhei that if your flesh is touching the erva of your friend, it's asar. Now, if they're gedolim and you're back to back, you need hafsakas talis. V'adin ketanim acherim she'enam banav. Likewise, if they're children who are not, but they're not your sons, also you need hafsakas talis. Kein mashmei Rambam v'ayin beber hagrosim ayin hey sevdalad b'hagav yesh liyashiv. Ach lefi mashmei vor lekaman b'siman ayin hey sevdalad b'hagav dekatan kozman sheneroy labia hainu bezachar ad teshan v'yom echad uv'nekeva ad bas gimel v'yom echad ein erva say erva l'chare gam l'nyonin yesh lakim adan lo higia hazman. In other words, let's say if it's another child, but the boy is 8 years old, so then his erva is not halachically considered an erva, and it would be mutter to say Shema. Obviously, societal norms also have what to say about this inyan. Okay, Sif Daled. Ad kamahim chashuvim katanim. For how long is someone considered a katan that we say that if you sleep with them and you're back to back, you could say Shema? And we say, but if they're gedolim, you need hafsakas talis. Hatinoik ad shiula yud beis shanim, hatinoikas ad shiula yud aleph shanim. A child, a male child, 12. A female child, 11. Va'afilu heviu shtei saris mutter. Even if they brought 2 hairs before, it's mutter. Uvishnas yud gimel latinoik, v'yud beis latinoikais. In the 13th year of a child, that's when he's 12 and up, and the 12th of a female, if they bring 2 hairs, it's asr without a hefsek. V'im loy heviu shtei saris. If they didn't, mutter. Umishnas yud gimel ve'elach latinik v'yud beis latinoikais afilu loy heviu shtei asr. So basically we say like this: when the kid is over 13, it doesn't matter if they bring 2 hairs. If they're under 12 and 11 respectively, then even if they do bring 2 hairs, it's mutter. If they're in from 12 to 13 for a male or 11 to 12 for a girl, then it depends if they bring shtei sarais or not. Says the Mishna Berura, V'shnas Yud Gimel, Ratzalem Yom Yishischol Yom Rishon B'shana Zu. When they start the first day of the 13th year, meaning 12 in a day. V'chei mashkasa V'shnas Yud Gimel V'elach, Ratzalem Ragam Kein, Teikuf Mishahushlam Ashnas Shloisha Asar, V'ein Tzarch Yud Gimel Shana V'yom Echad. You don't need 13 years and 1 day, just 13 complete years and a moment. Rak Shleimos. V'yoyim haleda gam ken b'chlal. The day of birth is included. Let's say a kid's born the end of the day on Aleph Tishrei. When he comes to the beginning of the night of the 14th year that he was born, when he comes to Rosh Hashanah night, he's 13 years old. The same thing by bar mitzvah. By the way, this is a machlokes achronim, whether you need me'es la'es or as soon as you get to the beginning of the 13th. The Noid Yehuda Paskins, you do not need me'es la'es, like the Mishna Berura quotes, as well as Reb Tzadok HaKohen. In fact, Reb Tzadok HaKohen, in his bar mitzvah drasha that he published, he brings a raya that you do not need me'es la'es, because many achronim say, why does Shas begin me'emasai kar neshma ba'arbis? Because the first mitzvah of a 13-year-old child is Krias Shema. And if you're going to say that you need 24 complete hours, so then mehechi teisi, that's the first mitzvah. If he was born in the middle of the day, then his first mitzvah would be Krias Shema shel Shacharis or Tefillin maybe. The fact that uniformly Shas always begins with what they consider the very first mitzvah, that means as soon as the night comes, the kid is a bar mitzvah. V'ayin le'el b'sun non heis of tes Mishna Berura. Im heviu shtei saris, ayin magin ram shekasav. The Fimasha Pasak Hator be'Evan Ezer Simul Chaf Aleph. Asur mishehigia hazman hazeh afilu loy heviu shtei saris. Number one, we paskin that once the kid hits 12, you cannot say Shema back to back with them b'mita achas, even if they did not bring 2 hairs. V'gam afilu b'loy kriya Shema asur lishon b'yachad arum b'ker basar mishehigia hazman hazeh. And b'chalal, at that age, you cannot be yashen imahem. V'ayin b'chalkas m'choykek u'bei Shmuel sham. Nowadays, as we mentioned, the societal norms would have what to say about this. V'chacham einav b'roshai. Okay, Rabbi Sai, thank you very much for joining. We are now up to date. Next week, on Monday, we will start with Siman Ayin Daled, and Friday allowing, we might do Fridays because this way we don't fall behind Pesach. We'll see. Okay? Hatzlach, everyone. Have a great Shabbos.